At Hunt Country Jewelers, the majority of the jewelry is made using a classic manufacturing technique called lost wax casting. In this process, the designing of a piece is done with wax as a medium, and then that item gets cast into metal. Before we begin our design, however, we'll cover the basics of how we carve wax, as we consider our wax carving technique unique to the industry and the foundation on which Hunt Country Jewelers was built. In short, we manipulate wax by heating our handmade wax tools in an alcohol flame, picking up wax from a reservoir, and depositing it onto a model to create shapes. Or, we can use the tool to subtract material and thus create a shape or a curve through subtraction. Ed started his carving career using antique dental tools that were passed down to him from previous generations of dentists in his lineage. However, after using these all-metal handpieces in and out of an alcohol flame for hours on end, Ed soon found himself looking for alternatives, especially in the handles. So, he started making his own tools from wooden dowels and needles that were shaped to create specific tips. The actual wax used is quite soft, very similar to a beeswax in consistency. Very often, we begin a piece of jewelry with a simple sheet of wax and work outwards from there. Because the wax is soft, the tools can be used to scrape away material and form a design. From thin lines on the surface to complete removal of wax from an area, the subtraction quotient of the technique is pretty straightforward. In contrast, though, Ed's ability to add wax in order to build, rearrange, and refine shapes as he works on a piece is what gives him an incredible freedom in design with his carving technique. As an example, here he's building an arch using addition, meaning he will pick up wax from the reservoir, heat it in the alcohol flame, and then deposit it onto the model. He will then repeat this process or trim away excess material to create or shift curves and lines as desired. Once the shape is satisfactory, Ed will start refining the piece by keeping the tip of the wax tool hot and very lightly touching it to the surface of the model, using the localized heat to melt and smooth out irregularities. We call this process hot tooling and use it to clean up curves, iron out wrinkles, and in general to leave as smooth of a surface behind as possible in preparation for casting the piece into metal. With these basics in mind, in the next video, you'll see these techniques put to use as we begin carving the wax for our aquamarine ring.